Coming up, victims of the December floods in Malaysia reciprocate Tzu Chi's kindness through action. We meet a group of selfless people who are spreading warmth and goodness to all corners of Taiwan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Anita Lee. Thank you for joining us. We bring you more touching stories related to the December floods in Kelantan, Malaysia. Inspired by the Tzu Chi volunteers' kindness, a fruit vendor promised to help gather cardboard boxes at his market to reciprocate. And an old man who lost his home to the flood has been re-energized by his grandchildren thanks to the Tzu Chi volunteers. After the floodwaters receded, Tzu Chi volunteers accompanied Chen Yajiu back to his home in Kelantan. When the flood came, Chen escaped with his two grandchildren in a hurry.
We ran along the railroad. We didn't ride a motorcycle or a car. The railroad was the only passage that wasn't flooded yet, and that was how we headed to higher ground.
Chen cares for his two grandchildren alone. Now that his home is lost, he lives with his younger brother temporarily. At a loss regarding the future, Chen has been comforted by the Tzu Chi volunteers.
Let's go make a cup of tea and offer it to your grandpa, okay? Come now, your grandpa is heartbroken. He has lost his home.
Chen breaks into tears as his grandchildren offer him tea. Now he has the strength to face the future. The children asked for the volunteers' name tags as they were leaving, so they will always remember the charity. A fruit peddler in the market, Huang Zhijian, is also grateful for Tzu Chi's assistance.
Suddenly, some 100 people showed up and cleaned up the mess in front of me. I finally breathed a sigh of relief.
Volunteers also brought him lunch boxes.
Actually, we had no problem feeding ourselves. But what mattered was the love inside those lunch boxes. I told my daughter, not a grain of rice is to be wasted. Actually, you can't ever have this again, so better not eat it.
Laughing happily, Huang has not let the disaster affect him. He and his wife also promised to collect cardboard boxes at the market on Tzu Chi's behalf to help more people in need. In Suzhou, China, the job of waste management is contracted out to private firms. Thus, waste management workers are contract laborers and have no benefits. The job starts at 3 in the morning and lasts all day long. As most of these workers are migrants working away from home, the Tzu Chi Suzhou office started a program to care for these workers starting last November. Here's more.
At 3 in the morning, the city of Suzhou is still sound asleep. 49-year-old Yang Ziming is already up and about. As he heads to work, he quietly greets the city. Any modern city cannot do without the likes of Yang, for he works for the city's waste management. And this is how his typical day begins. Raising a trash bin high to empty it, Yang goes about his work, but often he has to pick up trash intentionally left outside of the bins. In the darkness before dawn, the only thing visible on Yang and his fellow cleaning crew are the reflective linings on their uniforms, which fade in and out as they navigate the city. Enduring the stench and the cold, they help keep Suzhou beautiful.
这没有什么样大标准的，因为在底下的老灰你是擦不掉的。主要是口面，它口面它是都是桶倒的。
Working every day 365 days a year, Yang makes about $480 a month, and it is all for the people that he cares the most about.
闹，没睡醒是吧？
待会。
Yang is all smiles upon seeing his 1-year-old granddaughter. After his son died in an auto accident, his daughter-in-law left, and thus Yang is the only person that his wife and granddaughter can depend on. Yang is especially happy today, not just because his granddaughter is attached to him, but because a group of old friends are visiting.
Are you in the habit of measuring your blood pressure regularly or getting a health check regularly?
没有的，
365天都是同样的生活吗？
天天如此，这没有办法，
然后您早上3点半起床就空腹就出门了。
都是空腹啊。
我感受你们都好，都
You're also loving and caring in my eyes. Thank you for looking after us. Thank you very much.
对啊，那感谢你们。
Since last November, the local Tzu Chi office has launched a care program to offer Suzhou's waste management workers assistance in the area of health, livelihood, and children's education. As Yang is always busy working while his wife is illiterate, the volunteers are worried about his granddaughter.
因为杨蕊年纪非常的小，那么她今后的教
Because
育，
Yang Rui is so young, we believe receiving a proper education would be a problem for her. We plan to find her some children's art books to start.
As most waste management workers work away from home, Tzu Chi volunteers have become their biggest support. And with Tzu Chi's love, they have learned to smile again.
Currently, 70% of the students attending the Xihua Tzu Chi Elementary School in Anshun, Guizhou Province come from the countryside. Among them is Li顺利, who moved from Bayan town to Anshun with her parents to pursue a better life. We now learn how顺利and her younger sisters strive to reverse their fortune while helping out at home.
Traveling through the farming village of Baiyan Town, Anshun City, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers arrives at the home of Li顺利.
成绩好吗？成绩怎么样？最喜欢哪个科目？语文。幸福有没有在你那边？让我看看他的脸。
Under the volunteers' encouragement, Li顺利and her sister finally agreed to sing. Currently,顺利and her family live in one of the rooms of the Li ancestral home. Due to lack of resources and job opportunities, Li顺利and her family moved to Anshun to pursue a better life. However, unable to read or write,顺利's father has not been able to find a stable job in Anshun. Every day, Mr. Li waits anxiously for an opportunity to come his way.
你的工作项目是什么？
上课。这里要搬到6点多。
I need to work until 6 p.m. I only work about 20 days in a month. The rest of the time, I don't have anything to do.
In spite of the challenges he faces, Mr. Li's determination to create a better future for his loved ones has never faltered.
I hope they can study hard and don't end up like me. If they work hard now, I believe they will be able to find a more suitable job in the future.
贫血，心脏不好。
My health is not that great. I have anemia, a gastric ulcer, and a weak heart. I always get a cold when I do the laundry, so顺利helps me with some of the household chores.
洗菜啊，这是顺利帮我。
I want to help my mother because she gets sick really easily. I want to do more chores and earn good grades.
While their mother cooks the dinner, Li顺利and her younger sister seize the time to finish their homework. The pair's hardworking attitude is a constant source of amazement for their teacher.
This family is not financially well off, and the learning environment is not ideal. I think it is truly amazing to see that both of them are still working so hard and striving for good grades regardless of the hardship they face. Their determination is truly admirable.
Besides singing a song to express their thanks, Li顺利and her sister also promised to study hard as a way to repay their parents' grace.
Where can one find true beauty in Taiwan? The answer is everywhere. Taiwan has some of the most compassionate and caring people. People who are willing to give without thanks or recognition to help society become a warmer place. In our next report, we take a look at a few of these unsung bodhisattvas who are helping better Taiwan one person and one day at a time.
Street cameras capture a horrific accident in which a car mistakenly runs over a driver on a motorcycle. The driver of the car, in a panic, tries to reverse the car, only to put further pressure on the man trapped underneath.
I told him, don't try to move your car. The motorcycle and its driver are trapped underneath it.
With the help of 7 people who happened to be nearby, the driver was finally able to lift the car off the man trapped underneath.
I was lucky that so many people immediately came over to help lift the car. I'm very thankful for their help. If not for them, I'm not sure what would have happened.
For Zhang, these 7 people were his saviors. But when we interview one of his rescuers, he says what he did was what anyone would have done.
It is just caring for your fellow men. Seeing someone get hit, I'm sure everyone would do their best to help. This is how society remains peaceful.
Zhang and his wife are long-time donors for disaster relief, helping others in the past. This time it was they who were on the receiving end.
I am more than happy to donate a little to help others.
Accidents happen without warning, thus blood banks need to be ready at a moment's notice. Once a month, a blood mobile will come to Dongshi Elementary School. On that day, rain or shine, 78-year-old Zhang Jieming drives around the neighborhood to announce the start of the blood drive. These gifts are actually donated by Zhang himself, who spends close to $400 every month on them.
When helping others, sometimes we need to use a bit of our money, and that is fine by me.
Encouraging others to donate blood harks back to a lesson Zhang learned long ago.
When we were kids, our parents would tell us that when we grow up, we need to be sure to do good deeds, regardless of what they are.
20 years ago, Zhang first volunteered at a blood drive and has been working on behalf of the cause ever since. Now, at the monthly blood drive at Dongshi Elementary, he is a familiar face.
He is really earnest. I've never met anyone as earnest as him. His merit is truly limitless.
Where will you find Taiwan's most beautiful scenery? In fact, it is everywhere.
I feel that she is really hardworking. She is an inspiration for us all.
Zhong Fangchen lost her sight because of her early birth. Now she communicates with the world through her music.
I want to thank my parents for bringing me here today and helping me set all this up.
A licensed street artist, Fang Chen has put herself through college with the money she makes from playing. On good months, she also donates a portion of her income to her own high school.
Although I have yet to find a truly stable job and have still not done anything that could be considered extraordinary, at least I have the power to donate a bit. I think that in itself is an achievement.
As she was growing up, she received help from many different people and organizations. It is my hope that one day when she or others like her have the ability, they can reciprocate the love and support they have received in the past.
Those listening who decide to give some change do so out of thanks and respect.
希望借此告诉他什么？告诉他说要感恩祈福，真的，对不对？
Through her playing, Fang Chen speaks with the world and the world answers in gratitude. In fact, there are many more like her who work on behalf of the good of society, but would rather not be recognized for these efforts. This tragic accident took the life of the driver of the car. As it turns out, the family of the deceased lacked the funds to pay for proper funeral arrangements. Thus, the officer on duty at the time, along with 3 of his friends, together donated $5,000 to pay for everything.
This is not about being a police officer, but something every citizen would do. We all should have this heart to give. In this way, society will be a bit more peaceful.
After paying for the funeral services, Officer Ling left no contact information. The only tip grateful family members had is his uniform. A friend of the deceased soon after wrote a letter to the head of Tang's executive yuan describing the situation and his sentiments.
I'm someone that really hates the police. However, after hearing this story from the family, I was extremely moved. It took me completely by surprise. Who is the police officer? Why is he so different from my image of the police?
Finally, the men hoped the police officer would make himself known. It was due to this letter that Officer Lin's good deeds came to light.
I believe that when doing something like that, it is not necessary to let people know who you are. Deeds like this are best done quietly.
Among the other 3 that joined Officer Ling in this good deed was friend Chen Yongshan, who felt that doing good deeds should not wait.
The day he talked to me about it, I immediately contacted my uncle, and together we went to the funeral parlor. The first day we didn't see the family of the deceased. The second day, we just decided to pay for the costs of the funeral and then left.
For families, nothing is more important than being able to handle the final affairs of their deceased loved ones in a satisfactory manner. And helping financially constrained families do just that has been businessman Zhang Qingyang.
伊恁家的地，该做的咱爱做，该省的咱要省，因为还够少年啦。昨天下午吧。
那你今天就特地拨空过来这样。
Zhang Qingyang uses his many business contacts to learn where and when his assistance is needed. He was recently asked by an officer of army to help the poor family of a young deceased soldier pay for his funeral.
Although Zhang Qingyang has done many very good and beautiful deeds, what is most worthy of praise is how he does it all in a very low-key way, without letting others know.
Arriving personally at the funerals after talking with the family to better understand their situation, Zhang right then and there pays for the entire funeral process out of pocket.
It is usually like this. As long as it is reasonable, we will find a solution. We are so thankful. I believe that my brother in heaven is thankful as well. Has it been a big help? A very big help.
Zhang Qingyang has helped at least 200 families, a conservative estimate. Why does Zhang do it? This letter from a boy says it all.
Thank you for coming to help my dad handle this situation. In the future, when I have the ability, I will help people in the same manner. This kid will grow up to be a good person, without a doubt. It is things like this that make what I do worthwhile, not how much I spend.
Here in Nantong's Zhushan, this owner of a local noodle shop has been helping disadvantaged children in her community for the past 23 years.
When I was young, I was always hungry. For a cheaper meal, I would come here, and she would always give me extra noodles.
Mr. Wu is just one of the many children who was on the receiving end of Lai Jinglian's love in the past. 3 years ago, one of them decided to reciprocate the love with a $3,000 donation.
I saw him bring out $3,000 and I was wondering what it was for. He asked if I remembered when I told him way back when that he should try to give back to society when he grows up. He then said, "This is for you to help other children in need."
A child receiving Lai's help 20 years ago. Today, that child is a man who knows the importance of giving back.
Actually, there are good people everywhere in Taiwan.
On the walls of her restaurant are notes and letters of gratitude left by the dozens of people and organizations that Lai Jinglian has personally helped out.
Helping others is the root of happiness. My happiness comes from this. It's that simple. At the year-end blessing ceremony held at the Tzu Chi Japan chapter, volunteers and locals put on a section from the Sutra of Profound Gratitude Towards Parents musical, helping participants and audience members alike realize that when it comes to filial piety, there is never any reason to wait. In the performance, Ling Junlang plays a son who failed to be filial when his parents were still alive. Unfortunately, his role also happens to mirror his real life.
When my parents were in the world, I didn't know how to be filial to them. Now that I hope to be a filial son, they are no longer in this world.
While Koji Meme played the mother of the wayward son in the sutra performance, and like her character, Koji has also remained unconditionally loving to her son, whose actions have brought her many sleepless nights.
No matter how ill-behaved he may be, he is still my son. No matter how bad a mother is, she is still a mother and will always be a mother for the son.
Joining the volunteers in their performance of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude Towards Parents were Chinese language class students and several members of society.
Through this performance, we look to call on families and Japanese society to embrace this idea of filial piety.
Through the sutra, participants and audience members alike come to understand that filial piety cannot wait. To further broaden the appeals of vegetarianism, in Taichung, Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers held cooking classes in their community to show those interested how to make healthy yet delicious vegetarian meals. Volunteers also paired up with a local temple to serve vegetarian porridge made from Tzu Chi's instant rice on behalf of the temple's Lunar New Year activities. Let's learn more. In Taichung, before the start of every class, volunteers first prepare all the ingredients. Volunteers will teach one dish per class.
Cabbage, mushrooms, bamboo shoots. Also, we have vegetarian meat, carrots, 2 more kinds of mushrooms, ginger, and various spices. This is more healthy.
After listing the ingredients, volunteers teach participants step by step how to cook them and in what order.
Coming here to study, I feel like my cooking has definitely improved. After every class, I will try out the dishes at home, and my family has felt that I have improved as well.
Volunteers also paired up with a local temple to make a vegetarian porridge on behalf of the temple's Lunar New Year celebration. The porridge, made with Tzu Chi's instant rice, is a hit, with many coming back for seconds or more.
To be able to share this instant rice with everyone is a good thing. Being able to have 12,000 people sample vegetarian cuisine is even better.
Through such efforts, more and more people are coming to realize the advantages and ease of vegetarianism in this day and age. For Chinese living abroad, Lunar New Year celebrations are just as eventful. Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States and Canada respectively hosted events to usher in the Year of the Goat. The bright and colorful decorations brought a traditional New Year atmosphere to the events. We leave you with these images at the end of today's show, and may the Year of the Goat bring you and your family good fortune this year.